Hey y'all, welcome to a Nurse Key podcast. I am Nurse Key and I am so happy to finally be back. I had to take some time off for personal reasons, but you know, if you know, you know, if you get it, you get it. I am so happy to be here with two of my favorite people, my sister and my brother. Y'all get to find out who they are to me and hopefully y'all will love them too. I know y'all will. If you new here, then I am Nurse Key. I am a nurse, a motivator, a mother, a writer, a poet, everything except a hater and a whore.
That escalated mad quickly.
And if you're not new here, thank you for the constant support. Y'all know how I feel about y'all. I wouldn't be who I would be.
Yeah.
I would be. No, I wouldn't be where I am or who I am without y'all. So thank y'all for the constant support. This is episode 24. 24. Correct me if I'm wrong. 24.
If you're wrong, I understand that.
No, this is episode 24.
That's wrong.
And 25.
20. Ma'am.
Oh man.
24.
You cut that off. Cut.
The thing that I love about my podcast is I show up as me. I don't come with a script. I don't come with it's so authentic. So maybe you don't have to cut it out. Fuck it.
You know, authenticity is the only emotion that's more powerful than love.
Ooh, there it is. So before we, get started, I'm going to give my siblings a chance to introduce themselves and kind of get you guys acclimated to who they are. So we can get into it.
I like that gesture about how I could go first. I thought you was going big brother your way in there.
Big dude.
I thought you was going big dude your way in there.
I'm a gentleman, man. Ladies first.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sierra. I'm Shaquila's
person.
Nurse Key's person, big sister.
Yes.
I'm actually a doctor. I live in New York City.
Hold on. We're not going to let that go. We're not going to let that ride. You know how you walk in a room and you got a difficult patient, for all my nurses out there that are listening, and they be like, well, I want to talk to the doctor.
Yeah, but then I walk in and then they say, I want to talk to the doctor.
Not the physician assistant, not the nurse practitioner, no shade. This is the doctor. We're going to give her flowers while she's here.
Real live representation, too, because representation is important.
Black girl magic with the blonde fade. Do you understand?
Shut. I walk in and they say, I would like to talk to the doctor. I walk back out. I say, are you ready now?
Hello.
Okay.
That's a quick shake.
So I'm really happy to be here. I know Nurse Key really has been trying to make this happen for quite some time.
Yes, I
appreciate the invite. Appreciate the hospitality.
Should have did it in D.C. last week.
No, we was too busy. H you?
You know?
No.
Thank you. Yeah, honorary.
Should have been.
All right.
That was just an interesting trip, so probably
Golly. Shout out to D.C.
R.I.P. to
my
homecoming.
second home.
not R.I.P. to homecoming. What's up, y'all? I'm Ellery. I'm Nurse Key's big brother. I am not a doctor, but
You my big brother too?
Oh yeah, I'm Sierra's big brother.
He's
CC.
the eldest brother.
I'm the eldest brother. I'm
That's
a big
big
dog,
dude.
top dog. No, but I'm not a doctor or a nurse. Actually, not in the medical field at all. I'm just a entrepreneurial ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, got a couple businesses, a few endeavors.
I'm here. Okay.
I'm just talking stuff, but no, for real. I'm in the smart home space. I own a smart home company. That's my bread and butter, and I do a lot in the personal development space too. So I'm a dad and
a black dad.
Yeah.
A girl dad.
A girl dad.
Yeah. I do a mean ponytail. You feel me? That's about it.
Oh, and they look like me.
And me.
They look like them.
They do.
So that's it. So I'm just happy to be here. We've been trying to make this happen and talking about it. So it's finally manifested, and I'm happy for that, and grateful. And let's give them some good chops, some good conversation.
Speaking of manifestation, I feel like, it's everything in my life I don't do without alignment. So a couple years ago, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I did a visualization with my brother. who is a life coach, mentor, all things manifestation. And I was in a super just I don't know, I don't like to say dark place, but I wasn't who I am. And we talked and we politicked about a lot. And one thing that he had me do was sit down and we did this visualization about what it is that I wanted to do, who it is that I wanted to be, the things that I wanted to have, the goals that I wanted to accomplish. And one of the things that he had me do was, I think it was a 3-month list? I did a 6-month list. And it was just the things that I wanted to attain within 6 months. And I was very, very, very specific about it. I want to say we did it like New Year's Eve, like right before the New Year broke. Yeah. And at that time, I wanted to I was really fixated on moving my son all the way across the world to California. I wanted to live in LA. I wanted to just pack up and I wanted to leave. I was so fixated on LA. I didn't really have a plan. I just know that was my plan. Like, I wanted to get out there. I wanted to live out there, and I wanted to really just be there. So day before New Year's, we had this whole little session where I didn't go out. I didn't go to the club. I didn't do nothing like that. I was in my living room. We did this visualization. I wrote everything down that I wanted to accomplish within the next 6 months. Y'all, do y'all know? Literally, not lying, swear to you on everything. I literally put all of these things down in full specifics with my brother, my mentor, my life coach. And that was the day before New Year's, within 19 days, I was in LA working, making the money to where I could maintain my life in LA. Just got out there.
Pandemic money.
A pandemic.
It was not a pandemic for me.
One of the things that I wanted to do aside from living in LA is I wanted to increase my income. I think I put some outrageous number like 200%, right?
Did it?
If you went to LA during COVID,
get money, and we gonna get money.
Hello. It was like one of the things that was like, that was the moment that made me feel like manifestation is real. Like, really, not only, I tell people all the time, when you manifest, you really got to be delusional. Like, you got to almost like tell yourself that this is already happening. And one of the things that he really encouraged me to do was to be like truly specific. And it's so crazy because I still have the letter that I wrote to myself in that moment. And I look at it like, damn, what I thought I was going to accomplish in 6 months, I did that in 19 days, like less than 30. And yeah, so I want to give him an opportunity to kind of just like really explain to y'all what that looks like for him, because I know what it looked like for me. Like I said, I wrote it down December 31st, and by January 18th, I was in LA making the most money that I have ever made in my life, and really just planning a life for me and my son. And yeah, so
I mean, it's deep because it's a really spiritual process. You know, we're spiritual beings, and when what manifestation is the physical, your manifestation in the physical realm, what you've already experienced in the spiritual realm. So like when you do a visualization, what you're doing is you're taking yourself to that place in the future, and you're creating that experience. And by experiencing that presently, and then seeing that version of yourself. See, you know, so one thing, I rewind, like we're all like God, right? God created us all. God created everything. God's the creator, and we're God's children, the highest form of creation, you know, and God is the creator. So what would his children naturally be? Creators. Yeah. You know what I mean? So what does that mean? So it's about it when you really understand who we are as God's children, and it's all biblical. You know what I mean? He you know, write the vision, make it plain. You know what I'm saying? But the technique and the skill of manifestation requires an understanding that the result that you seek should be impossible is the version of yourself that you are today. You know what I'm saying? You have to the result is a byproduct of the character. So you have to become a new person. You know what I'm saying? Be born again, right? Become a new person to produce different results in your life, and that's what happens when you manifest. Like for me, and it's like a paradigm shift, right? Uh, when you shift the paradigm, then the things that you experience in the physical realm, you know what I'm saying? You evolve, right? So like, and that can happen one of two ways. You can either consciously force yourself into it, and that's the hard part, right? You consciously choose to, yo, I gotta wake up early, yo, I gotta, say you want to lose weight, you know what I mean? If you want to, the goal isn't to lose weight. The goal is to become healthy, right? To identify as a healthy person. Because if I identify as a healthy person, then naturally at a subconscious level, I'll make healthier choices. Hey, do you want to smoke some crack? No, I don't identify as a crackhead. You know what I'm saying?
Extreme.
That's extreme. All right, put it this way. Like, let's say it's two people, and this is shout out.
Identify as a
Shout out to James Clear, but this is an example out of Atomic Habits, which is one of my top 5 favorite books. But he would say, let's say it's two people who are trying to break the habit of smoking, right? So one, they're both trying to quit. Somebody comes up and say, "Hey, do you want a cigarette?" The first person says, "No, I'm trying to quit smoking," right? And then ultimately that person is more likely to revert back to smoking. The second person says, "No, I'm not a smoker." So they're way more likely to not smoke because they don't identify as a smoker. So you have to identify with that version of yourself in the future that is experiencing and producing the result that you want to have in all spheres of life, whether it's financially, physically, like, how you want your body to look, and feel, and physical health, and socially and mentally and spiritually, right? We literally have the ability through imagination, which is one of the higher mental faculties, to go into the future, to bypass time and space, create this experience, and then go there repeatedly to the point where we evolve into this version of ourselves where these results are a natural byproduct of that person, right? You know what I mean? There's no way that Elon Musk could be the billionaire that he is if he was, I'm sorry, but that's just all right, let's say Beyonce, right? There's no way there's no way Beyonce could have the results that she's having if she was not the version of Beyonce that she is now, if she was still the same version of Beyonce that she was in Destiny's Child, right? Mm-hmm. She's evolved and through her experiences and the multiple shifts of paradigm, she's become this version of herself that has this massive following. She has this massive influence in these massive results. And shout out to respect, right? So back to what I was saying. Like there's two ways to shift and become this person. One is consciously, where you consciously build this vision and go to it, and then repeatedly experience that to the point and try and emulate that version of yourself in the present until you subconsciously become that, where it's automatic, right? Mm-hmm. I automatically do these things. So you force yourself into that, and that takes repetition and that takes time, or it can be the result of a traumatic event, right? So
what was it for you? Sorry, I get laxed here. Y'all know this is my place.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
My place of peace. What was it for you? What do you think it was for you that made you really want to tap into manifesting and creating a life that didn't exist, that you knew would exist? And how do you, I guess, pitch that to somebody who doesn't have the amount of faith that they need to really manifest? Because manifestation is a whole lot of faith.
Yeah.
Because what is faith? The substance of things hoped for. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The evidence of things not seen.
The evidence of things not seen in the physical. You know what I'm saying? You have to actually believe that and understand that reality, that experience is real. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You just have to.
I got that thing on me.
Because I know for me, my manifestation, right when it kicked in, I was broke.
As hell.
I was broke as hell. Yeah. I was broke as hell to the point where I was like, how, when, and where? is this gonna come? And it wasn't even just finances. I was broken.
All spheres of
like
life,
I was
right.
a broken down. I was like, I am one person who carried my trauma well, like to the point where a lot of people look at me and feel like I have not went through anything because I carry it that well. And at the moment, and it's not like, oh, he can. By the way, these are my real siblings. Like we have the same blood.
Real blood.
Okay, so it
Shout
wasn't
out
like
to
he
DJ
just like I
Elliott.
met him, he came to my life. No, it was just one of them things where we had a conversation that really just resonated with me because I was so broken in that moment. So like you said, some of these things come from trauma.
Yeah.
And so for me, a lot of my boss up come from traumatic shit. Okay, I'm not afraid to admit it. So what was it for you?
I think it was a combination of both. Like I was already kind of on a path of self-discovery, and I was just looking into different things, like understanding matters of the mind and the spirit, and goal, looking into goal achievement and like what that really entails. Because I was in a place where I just wasn't happy with my results, right? And then I had a traumatic event where I ended up transitioning from being married and this family man to kind of single and kind of going through some stuff. So that was a huge change from what I was used to. But I'm like, well, shit, if it's just me,
Boss
I'm
up.
about to just do it, right? So it's like, I remember, because I remember when and I'll tell you this too, like, you always know when you're about to go through your breakthrough because it's right at the point where you feel like you are about to lose it all, right?
Or where
know
you
what I'm saying?
have
Yeah,
lost
where you
it
have
all.
lost it all. Like, where the
Yes.
only point you can go is up. That's where you break through, you know what I mean? And you become, like, there's no way. Awareness, it's all awareness, right? So it's like there's no awareness is permanent. Like there's no way you can even go back. Like you a doctor, right? There's no way you could go back to making minimum wage. You know what I'm saying? Like or
Never
like what I mean?
again.
There's and income.
Never again.
And income is a byproduct of awareness. It's like awareness. Awareness is like you. Perfect examples like when you a baby or you a kid, they say don't touch that stove, it's hot, and you touch it, you burn yourself,
Yeah.
and it's hot. You become aware that the stove is hot and you don't do that anymore, right? Once you become aware of, like, just for income, right? Once you become aware of how to earn money at a certain level, you don't go back. Like no one earns what they're earning because that's what they want to earn. That's because that's what they're aware of how to earn, right? Like no disrespect to anybody at any income level, but that's just where you at, right? So like if you earning 30,000 a year, you're not doing that because you want to earn 30. It's just because you don't know how to earn 40, or you don't know how to earn 100, or a million, and so on and so forth. Like and that all comes back to mindset. But back to your question, like for me, it was the trauma of that, and I just realized that I just wanted to just boss up and go into a totally different, you can call it success is the best revenge. And I don't even want to get into that
Yeah,
because it's not a
yeah.
revenge type of thing.
Yeah,
But that's
yeah.
where I was at that point. That
Success
version
is
of
the
myself.
only
like,
lick back.
Revenge,
If you ask me.
revenge is a byproduct of success. Low key.
Yeah,
Ate
low
her up.
key, yeah. Low key, right? So that was it for me.
Ma'am,
Miss Girl.
I just want to know, like, because I know my story is cliche. I've always wanted to be a nurse, and I don't think that I've ever dived into this part of you as far as like
Me either.
how you became a doctor. What was the interest? I've always wanted to be a nurse. If you've watched my podcast, if you've been keeping up with me, you know I had a very traumatic thing happen in my family when I was 8, and from that moment, I've always wanted to be a pediatric nurse. I went to high school. I went to cosmetology school. I thought that I would be with this hood nigga that loved me. He was gonna buy me a chain of hair salons, and I was never gonna have to lift a finger, and I was just gonna have people running my salons. And then I went to Columbus and took the test and failed manicuring because I couldn't do nails. I could always do hair. But then after that, I was like, this is not going to carry me in my life. I need to do what it is that I really want to do. And I went to school for nursing. So what was it for you? What made you want to be that girl? Because that's what you are to me. You are that girl.
I think for me, what's more interesting is my pathway to medical school, and then how I became the type of doctor that I am. So, I do geriatrics and palliative care. So geriatrics is the care of older adults, and palliative care is the big umbrella term for symptom management for people with severe and terminal illness. And a part of palliative care is actually hospice care. So for me, I mean, y'all know me. I'm like a huge nerd. I was always that kid that they were like, "Oh, you're so smart." You know what I'm saying? Like, if me and Ellery got in trouble, like my punishment was that I couldn't go to the library.
Ooh.
Right.
I remember when our dad.
Our dad.
I remember when he told me that you graduated with a 5.0. I was like, how? How? I want to do it.
Okay, that's because them AP classes are weighted different.
Okay.
And I did not graduate with a 5.0. I graduated with a 4.7.
Hello. Hello.
Graduated
with a 4.0.
So I always wanted to be a doctor. You know what I'm saying? I remember when our mom got, me and Ellery grew up, we got the same mom, same dad, right? So I remember when Miss Rochelle got cable. And that Discovery Health channel came on. I was just sitting watching people get cut open all day. I was like 8 years old. And I was like, Mom, I want to be a doctor. And she was like, oh, do you? And put us in all these camps. Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like our mom did not look out for me. If you had any kind of interest, she was going to make sure that you was exposed to it, fully submerged in that joint. She was like, okay, you about to go to this program at Tri-C and cut open an eyeball. Mm-hmm. All right. I mean, that's a bit intense, but yeah, literally that's what I did. And so I always knew that I wanted to be a doctor, and I knew that to be a doctor, you got to get good grades, you got to go to a good school, blah, blah, blah. And so when I was a senior in high school, I was accepted into this program that you do undergrad in 2 years because you go to school year round, and you're already accepted into medical school. So if you do what they say, you meet the requirements, you will go to medical school and you'll finish in 6 years. And at the time, I thought it was a huge blessing, right? Like, here I am, this 16-year-old kid with a spot in medical school, and they telling me, like, if you follow the path and you finish in 6 years, you'll be a doctor. Cool, started. Mind you, the alternative to that was that I had a full ride to Ohio State. Full scholarship, you know, but I would have to do 4 years of college, like regular people, fine. Or do this very accelerated program where it's like you're just taking straight science classes all year round. Like the average college student takes anywhere from 12 to 16 credits a semester, right? I had 24. This one semester I had 28.
Damn.
And 20 of those credits were science classes and labs, right? And then they would be like, okay, go play golf. So like college, a lot of people look back on their undergrad and they're like, oh, it's so fun. College was hell for me. Mm-hmm. Like I was in the trenches. And to make it worse, my first year when I got there, they showed the demographics of the class. And it said 1% black. And so everybody turned and looked at me.
When you the exception to the rule.
Everybody turned and looked at me. And
the token.
You know, look at me. I'm black as hell. Yeah, that's me. Okay, boom.
Token blackie.
Token blackie. So then the next year, they showed the demographics again. And it said 1.5%. So this girl sitting next to me, she was like, how do you account for 1.5%? And I'm looking at Shorty in the row ahead of me with her curly hair or whatever. And I'm like,
she's
Miss Girl is 0.5 and she is being disrespected as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to get the hell out of here. And at the same time, like all of my advisors was like, I don't know if you're a good fit for the program. Right? Like, I had no support. Like people was like withholding things from me. Like they had prior exams. Here I am studying my ass off. These motherfuckers got the answers. Right? And I already got 28 credits. Like
gotta work twice as hard to get the less. We know that.
And so I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And so I applied to Ohio State's Masters of Literature program because these people had me feeling down so bad that I was not even about to go to medical school. Like I'm about to just get this degree and go to Ohio State and get this literature degree and just like teach English. Like I was really like, fuck it, I'm about to stay down here and do hair. Like that's where I was in my career. And my mom was like, just see if you could get in somewhere else. And for everybody out there, getting into medical school is hard. Like,
first of all, if you think nursing school is hard, then you can just imagine. To my girls that's in nursing school, shout out to anybody that want to help somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, because that is work within itself. And I tell people all the time, nursing school was not easy for me. I don't care how much you see me kick it, how much you see me smile. I was crying.
I know it.
I was crying. Okay, I was
Often.
begging God to please let me do the bare minimum. I wasn't even working I was barely making it. So I can only.
Baby, it's hard. And so, like, I was experiencing racism. My advisors was not on my side, and my mom was like, just see, like, if you meant to be a doctor, baby, you're gonna be a doctor, cause God said so. Keep in mind that by me applying out to other medical schools, I gave up my seat. So my program was like, you can't come here. So if you don't get in, and my backup was to go to Ohio State and do this master's literature program. So I only applied to 6 schools. I was like, either I'm gonna go to one of these HBCUs, shout out to HBCUs, or I'm gonna go to Ohio State for med school, or these other 2 schools that's in Ohio. Like, either I'm gonna be by my family or I'm about to go to these HBCUs, right? So I only applied to 6 schools, unheard of. I got into all 6 of those schools.
Hey,
That's my sister.
The Lord said, pick.
Don't play with my sister.
take your pick.
Take your pick. And I picked Howard University because that's where I felt like I was at home. You know what I'm saying? I walked in, I'm this baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm 20 years old. I walk in, I got my little fro out. I got this suit on, this ill-fitting.
Listening to Wale.
Like, seeing niggas
Lotus
in Nike
Flower
boots.
Bomb.
Like, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? I walk into this school, it's just...
Roscoe Dash.
It's just black.
Yes, it is.
It's black.
So
everybody,
black.
And like everybody that you see, they like, oh, this is Dr. So-and-so. They're the dean of this. They're the dean of this. They're that.
And
this,
they black.
That. And I'm like,
You
that nigga I've been reading about.
You
This
look like
you?
me.
All right.
Dog.
Us. Always us, never
That's
them.
how it was when we was down there at the homecoming. I'm like, this the chief of this, and the director of this, and the doctor of this.
Y'all, I was in DC like, I want to move here.
Cause it's black.
It's lit down there.
It's the
black
closest thing to
excellence.
Africa.
Dog, it's black excellence, and everybody is fun.
It is so fun, and they are so nice and so welcoming.
Baby, I had to go to HU. Anyway, so yeah, I went to Howard, became a doctor. Cool. Why do I do geriatrics and palliative care? Y'all remember when Miss Dorothy was on hospice?
That's my grandma, y'all. Rest in
Rest in peace.
paradise to my beautiful Dorothy. Hold on, y'all. My twin face. That's my girl.
Yes, that was our girl, and our grandmother spent time on hospice, and my experience with that was a little bit different because the doctor that was taking care of her knew that I was pre-med at the time. And so she would come in when I was visiting grandma. She would come in and she would be like, "How are you? How's school going?" She
Girl,
would tell
how's
me
my
like
grandma?
the science behind grandma, while also being so kind and compassionate to grandma, to y'all, to our dad, to our auntie. And I was like, damn, I really want to be this kind of doctor for somebody. I want to be able to have the time to take care of people and their families at their most vulnerable state, you know, in the last days. And that's what I do every day. I take care of people that are constantly overlooked. Like, I went into this to take care of old black people, and that's what I do. I went into this to take care of people who are dying. You know, Shaquila just talked about how she was in LA for the pandemic. I was in New York for the pandemic.
The real one.
And my job was to hold people's hand while they were dying because their family wasn't there. So
Shout out to you.
Yeah.
Shout out to the nurses, shout out to the doctors, shout out to the STNAs, shout out to anybody in the medical field, because for one, it's not easy when you walk into them type of environments and you don't never know what you're gonna walk into. Sometimes you walk in there totally with an agenda, and by the end of the day, your whole agenda have changed. And then one thing I've learned about my patients, and not even just my patients at the bedside in the hospital setting, one thing I've learned about anybody who has taken any type of heed to me, who lean on me for any type of anything, is everybody don't got somebody. So when you are somebody to somebody, that is an important characteristic that a lot of people don't have. Actually, more than most, a lot of people lack being able to be there for somebody other than themselves. So first of all, let's talk about having siblings, okay? Because a lot of people out here is only child.
ooh wee.
Dallas Smith
Shit,
in your house. Dallas in his house, he is the only child. While he has brothers and he has a sister, he is the only child by me. Okay, so I love having siblings. Right, love it. I love my brothers and my sisters. I love it so much. It is something that a lot of people take for granted, and I love it so much. When I was younger and I was planning out my life, I always wanted to have a big family. I wanted a big, huge family myself. I wanted 4 kids of my own.
family.
Now, guess what?
Shit, if I do it.
Now, guess what? I got this one, and I might be done. You understand me? But I always wanted a big family, and I think that as an adult, I am so grateful that me and my siblings have this willingness inside of us to just want to be close. Like us,
Shout out to Uncle Joe.
We are a
Uncle
gang.
Joe.
Shout out to that is my baby brother. That is my heart and my soul. And off the record, that's my favorite.
Hey,
Hey,
That's my baby.
That's cap too.
That is my
I feel like that's
baby.
Y'all calling out all
That is
caps
my
on the
heart.
spot.
That
calling
is my
out all
heart
caps
and soul.
Ain't no way,
Also,
boy.
me and
Joe, you cool, but I feel like that's cat.
That's big
also
cap.
me and Joe
And what
and
about it?
my ghetto twin that was born 2 weeks. We grew up together, like literally. Like my
Okay,
mother.
but whose fault was that?
My mother got to the point where she was like, you know what? I don't even give a fuck if he fucking her. I don't care. Babysit. I don't care. Take this little girl and babysit. And I was with them a lot. Like that, them was my dogs. So with that, I think that, I don't know, a lot of y'all, anybody that's watching, I'm sure y'all have siblings. Maybe y'all don't. Maybe y'all have siblings like same mother, not the same father, not the same mother. These are my siblings from my dad. As you can see, face. Okay, these are my siblings from my dad, but they have the same mother. So they got a much different experience growing up than I did. And is this the part where we get much? Listen, I'm gonna give you all a trick. Life hack, I be using lace glue for my eyelashes.
Girl.
So they don't be falling off.
Too much.
With that
Get
said,
the duo and squeeze your
what?
thumb right here.
my mother let me tell you something. My mother came to my house, right, and cleaned my house from top to bottom because she real OCD. Do you know she threw my duo away?
Crazy.
Threw it away. That's crazy.
Blasphemous.
To be throwing the duo away is
Wait,
crazy.
what's a duo?
It's the lash
It's the
glue.
lash glue.
Okay.
Okay.
Not lace front glue. You gonna be looking like a bat when them things come on.
She don't know. That nobody. Somebody tell her.